Hello everyone and welcome to our podcast. Today we are going to go on a wonderful adventure about something you use every single day. It is something so common that sometimes we forget just how special it is. The topic for our podcast today is the power of words, the essence of communication. You use words all the time. You use them when you greet your family in the morning. You use them when you say hello to your friends at school. You use them when you ask your teacher a question or when you tell your dog to sit. You use words when you write a story or read your favorite book. Even now, you are hearing words as I speak to you. But have you ever stopped to think about how powerful words really are? Words are so much more than just sounds or letters. Words shape the way we think and feel. Words can help us solve problems and bring people together. Words are the magic that connect us to the world. Imagine you walk into a room and you hear someone shout your name with a big smile on their face. You feel happy and wanted, right? Sometimes, if someone calls your name in an angry voice, you might feel nervous or sad. Words can make you feel all kinds of emotions: happiness, love, excitement, or even sadness and anger. Let us imagine that words are like keys. Each word is a little key that can open a special door in our hearts and minds. Some doors open to laughter and joy, others to understanding or learning something new. But if we are not careful, some keys might open doors to hurt feelings or confusion. That is why it is so important to learn to use our words with kindness and care. Long ago, people did not have words. Imagine trying to tell your friend that you are hungry without being able to say anything. Maybe you would point to your stomach or draw a picture in the sand. It was not easy. So people started to make sounds for important things like food, water, or danger. Over time, these sounds turned into words, and words turned into sentences, and soon, whole languages were born. Now, there are thousands of languages in the world. Each one is like a colorful garden with its own flowers and plants. Some words do not even exist in other languages. Did you know that there are words in Japanese for the quiet sound of snow falling, or words in Spanish for the light that shines through leaves? Although we may not understand all the words in every language, they all have the power to share feelings, ideas, and stories. Communication is not just about talking. It is about passing on ideas, feelings, hopes, dreams, and questions from one person to another. Sometimes we use words. Sometimes we use pictures, music, or even our bodies. A smile says something nice without a single spoken word. A frown tells a story too. But words give us the power to be even clearer. Have you ever played the game telephone? In this game, one person whispers a message to another, who whispers to the next, and so on, until the last person says the message out loud. Usually, the message has changed by the end. Maybe you started with "I love chocolate ice cream" and, by the end, it became something silly like "I rode a polar bear at night." This game is fun, but it also teaches us an important lesson. Communication can be tricky. If we do not listen carefully or talk clearly, our words can be misunderstood. That is why being a good communicator is a kind of superpower. When you use words clearly and kindly, you can make friends, solve problems, and even change the world around you. Have you ever heard of a time when someone said something nice and made your day brighter? Maybe your friend said you did a great job, or your teacher said "I am proud of you." That is the power of words. It is like a tiny spark that can light up someone else's heart. But words can also hurt. Imagine that someone says something mean or unkind. It can feel heavy, almost like carrying a backpack full of rocks. Sometimes, mean words stay with us for a long time. That is why, just like superheroes, we have to be responsible with the power of our words. Now let us think about the first time you learned to speak. When you were a baby, you watched and listened to the people around you. You heard sounds, saw smiles, and felt hugs. You tried to copy the sounds you heard. Maybe your first word was mama or dada, or even the name of your favorite toy. It must have felt like magic when someone understood what you meant. That is because learning to use words is like learning to use magic wands. Each word you learn gives you new ways to say what you think and how you feel. Now, think about reading. When you open a book, you step into a new world. The author uses words to draw pictures in your mind, to take you on adventures, make you laugh, or sometimes even give you chills. The best authors choose just the right words, like painters picking their favorite colors, so you can feel the story in your heart. Words also build bridges between people. Sometimes, people are different from us. Maybe they have different ideas, families, beliefs, or dreams. But when we talk and listen carefully, we can cross those bridges and find ways to understand each other. That is what makes communication so beautiful. Words can help us see through another person's eyes. Let me share a story. There once lived a little girl named Maya. She was very shy and did not talk much at school. Sometimes, other children did not notice her. One day, Her teacher gave out a special writing assignment and Maya used her words to write a lovely poem about the stars. When the teacher read her poem aloud to the class, everyone was amazed. Suddenly, Maya started making new friends. All because she found the courage to share her words. Words can sometimes live on for hundreds or thousands of years. Have you ever read an old fairy tale or heard a famous speech from long ago? Those words can still make us laugh, cry, or think, even if the person who said or wrote them is no longer alive. That is another kind of magic only words can do. Sometimes words are smaller than you might think. Just one word can mean a lot. If someone says sorry and means it, it can mend a broken friendship. If you say thanks, you make someone feel appreciated. When you say please, you show respect. These small words are like tiny seeds that grow into big feelings. Words help us learn. When you ask a question in class, you get an answer and learn something new. When you read about science or history, you fill your mind with knowledge. When you talk about your thoughts and dreams, you get to know yourself better, too. But do not forget that communication is also about listening. Imagine two people talking at the same time without listening to each other. It would be confusing and noisy. Listening is like giving a gift to someone else. When you listen, you show that you care. You learn more and your words become even stronger. Let us think about how people use words in different ways. Sometimes we speak quietly, sometimes loudly. Sometimes, we use words to explain how we feel. I am happy, I am scared, I am excited. Other times, we use words to ask for help. Can you help me with this? Sometimes, we use words to tell stories, teach, or just to be silly and make people laugh. Did you know animals use their own special ways to communicate? Two dogs bark or wag their tails. Cats purr or meow. Birds sing songs. In a way, these are animal words. They communicate feelings and needs. Some animals even use colors or smells to send messages. Bees do a special dance to tell other bees where to find the best flowers. People have invented many tools to help us communicate. We have books, newspapers, telephones, computers, and even smartphones. Now, you can send words to your friend across the world in just a few seconds. You can draw pictures, send videos, or write emails. The world feels smaller, like we are all just one big group of friends sharing ideas. But with so many words flying around on the internet and social media, it is important to remember kindness. Because sometimes, people say things online that they would never say in person. Even though you cannot see the person reading your words can still have a big impact on how they feel. Let us try a little experiment. The next time you are with your friends or family, try saying something kind. In fact, challenge yourself to give 3 people a compliment today. Maybe you tell your friend you love their drawing. Or you thank your parent for making a delicious meal. Or you tell your teacher you appreciate their help. Watch how their faces light up. That is the power of words in action. Words can help us fix mistakes, too. Everyone makes mistakes sometimes. You might say something you do not mean or forget to be polite. When that happens, words like I am sorry can make all the difference. A sincere apology can heal hurt feelings and make friendships even stronger than before. Words can also make big things happen in the world. There have been people in history who used words to change society. Think of Martin Luther King Jr. He gave a speech called I Have a Dream that inspired millions of people to work for fairness and equality. People listened to his words and together they made the world a better place. Even today, people remember his speech and feel encouraged by it. In school, you learn about rules and why they are important. Rules are really just words that people agree to follow so everyone can be safe and happy. Without words, it would be really hard to explain rules or work together to solve problems. Think about your favorite song. Words in songs have a special power. They can make you dance, make you feel brave, or help you remember a special time in your life. Songwriters carefully choose words so that everyone listening can feel the music deep inside. Stories are another amazing way words bring people together. When you tell a story, you invite others into your imagination. Stories travel from country to country, from generation to generation. Your grandmother might have told you a story that her grandmother told her. Words keep our memories, cultures, and families close, even across time. Did you ever have a secret code with a friend? Maybe you use special words or hand signals only you both understood. Secret codes show us that words can be like puzzles only certain people can solve. This helps us feel close to the people we trust. Now, let us talk about body language. Sometimes, you can say something without saying anything at all. If you smile, wave, or give a thumbs up, that can be just as powerful as saying good job or hello. If someone is sad, you might notice their slumped shoulders or quiet voice. Body language and words work together to help us understand each other. Imagine a world where no one could talk or write. How would we tell stories, learn new things, make friends, or solve problems? It would be very lonely. Words are like bridges that connect us all. They let us share our worries, our happiness, and our dreams. That is why learning new words, reading, writing, and listening are so important. Some people cannot hear or speak. But that does not mean they cannot communicate. They use sign language, hand shapes, and even computers to share their thoughts and feelings. There are so many ways to use the power of communication. When someone is angry, sometimes their words get louder or sharper. It is easy to shout or say something mean when you are upset. But that is when words are most powerful. If you can take a deep breath and choose kind, calm words, you can solve problems peacefully. Think of words as tools. Hammers can build, but they can also break. The same is true for words. Let us imagine you are the leader of a group project at school. Your job is to help everyone work together. If you use friendly, clear words, the group will listen and share their ideas. But if you use bossy or mean words, people may not want to help you. Good leaders know that positive words make people feel welcome and important. Why do we sometimes find it hard to talk about our feelings? It is because some feelings are big or complex, and sometimes we do not know the right words yet. That is why it is good to practice. Try saying how you feel out loud or writing it in a journal. Ask for help if you need better words to explain your thoughts. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Let us try a fun activity right now. Think of 3 words you can use to make someone smile. Maybe funny, silly, or awesome. Or you could try wonderful, helpful, or creative. Words are different for everyone, but everyone loves to hear something nice. Sometimes, words can change your mind. Have you ever been scared to try something new but then a friend said you can do it? Suddenly, you felt braver. Words can give us courage and hope. They can help us believe in ourselves. Of course, words are not perfect. Sometimes people make promises they cannot keep or say things they do not mean. That is why trust is built over time through honest communication. If you always use your words honestly and kindly, people will believe and trust you. Words are everywhere. On signs in the street, in books and magazines, at school, in games, on TV. If you think about it, each sign or label or book is a message, waiting for someone to understand it. Sometimes, learning new words is like discovering hidden treasures. Have you ever learned a word in another language? Maybe you learned how to say hello or thank you in French or Spanish or Japanese. Every time you learn a new word or language, your world gets bigger and brighter. You can make new friends and learn about different cultures. Words can also help solve problems. If someone is upset, using calm words can help everyone feel better and understand what happened. If you do not understand something, asking a good question with the right words can help you find the answer. Sometimes, it is not even about having the perfect words. It is about caring enough to try. Let us imagine the world as a giant conversation. Everyone everywhere is talking, listening, sharing, and learning. Little by little, our words travel, connect, and help us grow. Sometimes, even a small quiet voice can make a big difference. Think about important times in your life. Maybe you got a good grade and someone said great job, you felt proud. Or maybe you were feeling sad and a friend asked, are you okay? That simple question can change your whole day. That is how the power of words works. Words can be beautiful. They can be strong. They can be soft like a lullaby or loud like a drum. The same word can mean different things to different people. That is why communication is not just about talking but also about understanding. Sometimes, people have arguments or misunderstandings because of words. Maybe someone misunderstood what you meant. If that happens, do not be afraid to ask questions or explain your thoughts again. Communication is like dancing. Sometimes you step on each other's toes, but if you keep practicing, soon you move in harmony. Do you know what compliments are? Compliments are nice things you say about someone. Like you are very kind or I like your drawing. Compliments make people feel happy and special. Giving honest compliments helps build strong friendships. Let us think about rules of good communication. First, listen carefully. Next, speak kindly. Third, be honest. And fourth, ask questions if you are unsure. If you follow these steps, your words will help you make friends and solve problems. Sometimes, words can be funny. Think about jokes and riddles. Laughter is one of the best things words can give us. When someone tells a good joke, everyone feels closer and happier. Can you think of your favorite joke? Words can comfort us, too. If you feel sad or afraid, talking to someone you trust can help you feel better. Or if your friend is upset, saying I am here for you can mean the world to them. Words have the power to heal. It is important to remember that everyone makes mistakes, even with words. If you say something hurtful by accident, do not be afraid to apologize. If you do not understand what someone means, just ask. The more you practice using and understanding words, the stronger your communication skills will be. There are also times when it is okay to be silent. Sometimes, we need quiet to think, to rest, or to listen carefully. Silence can be powerful too. Let us not forget how words can inspire us. Poems, speeches, and stories have encouraged people to climb mountains, invent new things, or imagine a better future. Every time you speak or write, you have the chance to inspire someone else. Now let us imagine the future. What new ways will people invent to communicate? Maybe everyone will be able to translate languages instantly, or we will invent new words for new things we discover. One thing is for sure, words will still be a bridge connecting us, no matter where we are or how far apart we might be. Do you know what is really special? Communication is not just about words. It is about caring. It is about sharing a piece of yourself so someone else can understand. When people communicate with kindness, the world becomes a happier and more peaceful place. What will you do with the power of your words? Will you use them to make people laugh, to show kindness, to ask good questions, or to solve problems? Maybe all of these. Remember, your words are powerful and unique. They are like your own personal magic. Before we finish, let us do one more activity together. Take a moment to think of someone you care about. It could be a family member, a friend, or a teacher. Try to think of one special thing you could say to encourage or thank them. Maybe you write a note, draw a picture with your words, or just say it out loud. Watch how your words can make a difference today. Remember, words are like seeds. What you plant with your words will grow in the hearts and minds of others. Will you plant kindness, encouragement, and understanding? The choice is yours. Thank you for joining me on this adventure all about the power of words and the essence of communication. I hope you remember just how magical, powerful, and important your words are. Use them wisely and kindly, and you will make your world and the world around you a happier, better place. Until next time, keep sharing, keep listening, and keep spreading good words wherever you go. Goodbye for now, and happy communicating.